Hello, Mike here from the Mind of Mike channel, and welcome to a brand new tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about voice quality. A bunch of people have asked me about that, about the voice quality, how I record my voice, and how I eliminate the background noise and the keyboard clicks and the mouse clicks and sort of the general sounds of life going on around me from my videos. And let me give you a few tips and a few suggestions that maybe can point you in the right direction. So first of all, mic placement. It's super important how you place your mic. If you put it on your desk, just beside your computer or beside your keyboard, you're going to pick up a lot of vibration. It's transmitted through the desk and into your microphone. And this is bad in every way. If you don't have a choice and you have to put it on your desk, try to put a towel or something around it to sort of dampen the noise. Make sure it is isolated from your desk in some way. Now, there's really not much else you can do. The most important thing is if you can have it on a boom stand or somewhere that's connected to something that's not attached to your desk, that will go a long way towards reducing vibration as well. And if you're on a boom stand or some kind of stand where you can have the microphone close to your face without being close to the keyboard or other things, that is also important. I recommend that you have if you have a good condenser microphone, that you have your microphone maybe 8 to 10 inches away from your face, from your mouth anyway. And if you have a windscreen, keep the windscreen maybe 2 to 3 inches away from the microphone itself. That gives you enough buffer that you're not picking up all the breathing noises, but it allows your voice to be quite loud. The problem is if you have your microphone quite far away, you're picking up the background noise, and when you need to turn up your microphone gain or do some amplification after the fact, you're also amplifying the background noise. So the louder your voice is, the better as far as I'm concerned, because it overpowers the background noise and it allows you to eliminate a little bit. Now, there's really not much else you can do. Make sure you don't use an omnidirectional mic. If you have a mic that picks up sound in every direction, you're going to be picking up, like I said, sound in every direction, including keyboard and, your TV outside or whatever. So you want to eliminate that as much as possible. Now, after the fact, there are some software that I use to eliminate the sound further and to process it. And I use a software called Audacity. It's free, so anyone can use it. And I'm going to go through sort of my process of what I do. Now, if you see, I've loaded up a sound file here, a recording. Now, the other thing I do is I record my voice separately from the gameplay audio. And that's important because you want to process your voice and you don't want the gameplay audio to be affected, because there are some times when you're playing a game and very quiet sounds might be eliminated, or the software might think that the game sounds are actually background noise. So you want to have the voice track separate if at all possible. And Audacity is great at recording your voice separately. So if you're using a piece of software to record the screen or record video, you can use Audacity separately to record your voice and keep a separate voice track. Now let me just show you what I got here. So you can hear this. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well just, do what I got to do. Now if you see right here, see this middle part right here? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This blank space is where I'm not talking at all. And if you listen here, you're going to hear a lot of keyboard sounds in the background and mouse clicks. Listen for a second. Can you hear that? I'm sure you can. So these are the sounds that we want to get rid of if possible. Now, you can see them throughout the video. The thing is that when you're actually talking, the keyboard sounds aren't quite as distracting because your voice overpowers it, like I said. But in these quiet places especially, it's really difficult and it's very distracting as far as gameplay goes, and it sounds unprofessional to me. So let me go through a few things that you can do to get rid of this. Now, I will put the download links in the description. Audacity, like I said, is free, and you will need to download 2 additional plugins that I use in order to sort of eliminate this sound. Now, first thing I do is I go to high pass filter. This is part of the stock Audacity. You don't need to download anything for this. And what this does is it cuts off any sound below a certain frequency, which is the very low frequency vibrations. And these are also very distracting, and it's a large part of sort of background noise. So the human voice never really goes below 100 hertz. Anything below 100, you're pretty much good, but I set mine to 90. Now I want you to watch this area right here, especially as I apply this. See, that eliminated a lot of that noise there already. You're still getting the keyboard clicks, but it's not quite as bad as it was before. Now, the second thing I do is I go into here, this thing called Noise Gate. You will need to download this, and I will show you my settings here. I'll go through them very quickly. What this does is this gate threshold. It basically, any sounds below minus 28 decibels are cut off, reduced. So the very low sounds are going to be cut off entirely. And, well, the level reduction is how much it's reduced. It doesn't, I have it set to not entirely cut them off, but to almost cut them off, so they're not distracting. Now the attack delay, that basically gives you a time, how fast this software sort of ramps up and ramps down. So if you start talking and you set this too aggressively, too low, what it might do is cut off the beginning of your voice or the end of your voice of a word maybe when you're talking, because the level's got to go up. So I set it to 250. This works well for me. It's fairly aggressive, but you can sort of experiment yourself and see what you want to do. But watch this area again as I set this. Boom. All right, so we've eliminated, if you go back again here and listen, do what I got to do. See, you can hear the sound is gone now. So you can still hear some keyboard sounds during my talking sometimes, but it's not quite as distracting because my voice is there. Commentaries. When you're angry, it's very difficult to have anything to say except swear words. So you can hear that there's a little bit of mouse and keyboard sound in the back, and there are ways to get rid of that, sort of, but they end up reducing the quality of your voice, and there's really no way around it. The idea is to minimize it as much as possible. You're never going to get rid of it 100% unless you have professional, very professional equipment. And I don't have that. There are ways. The other thing is to try and keep your microphone away from your keyboard as much as possible. So if you can have it high above you or, you know, in your face basically, then you're going to go a long way towards reducing that even more. Now, the last thing I do, I want you to look at this waveform here. You notice that it's kind of all over the place. When you're playing a game or you're doing commentary and, you know, sometimes you're excited or you're angry or you're quiet or you're sort of mumbling to yourself, and you look at an area like this where it's very, very high, and then you look at an area like this where it's very, very low. And that doesn't sound great, to be honest. What it means is your voice is going up and down all the time. It's not very consistent. Some of your words are hard to hear and other ones are too loud. So it's frustrating for people watching your videos. And there is a way to fix that. And that involves a compressor. Now, I downloaded this one. There is one built into Audacity, but it's not great. This is one of the best free compressors you can get. It's free totally. It's a plugin for this, and I will put the link in the description like I said. So if you look at my settings here, I'm going to go over them quickly, and they're hard to explain. I don't exactly understand them 100%, but let me sort of give you an overview. The compress ratio, this basically gives you how loud or how quiet your sound is going to get. So the higher this is, the higher the final product is going to be. And a compressor, the idea of a compressor is to even all this out. What it does is it amplifies the low sounds and it reduces the high sounds. So higher volume sounds are reduced and lower ones are raised just to even everything out. And this basically sets a maximum as far as, you know, how much it's going to do this, how much it's going to work on the software. Compression hardness, this is something similar. It's sort of, it's hard to explain actually, and I don't really understand it myself 100%, but it's, again, if you wanted to compress more, even things out more, go higher. The floor, this is basically the minimum sound that it's going to act on. So if you have this set, you can set it lower, and that means it will try to amplify very small sounds. You want to balance this out carefully, because if you have a keyboard click or something like that and it's a low sound, it could amplify that and make it super loud. So you don't want that to happen. You'll have to experiment. I found this is a good value for me. Noise gate cutoff. This is another thing where below this sound, it will cut off all the sounds. It's something similar to the plugin I use, but this doesn't seem to work in the same way. So I'm set at 3, and that's what we're good at. Maximum amplitude. This is the maximum, basically the maximum volume you're going to be able to go. And I set mine at 0.8. It's a good value. Some people say to set it at 9 or 1, which means you can go all the way up to maximum volume, which I don't like. So let's just sort of see what happens when I do this. Now, as you can see, it has evened it all out. The quiet sounds are louder and the loud sounds are quieter. So you have a consistent voice all the way across. And that really does make a difference. It sounds much better. Jump! All right. Can I please just make this? I'm sounding angry. I'm not actually sure if this episode is out already, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, you can hear some of the keyboard clicks in the background, especially as I'm doing a lot of parkour, but other than that, it sounds pretty much normal, and you notice that the very distracting sounds, especially between areas where I'm talking are gone. And that's really the whole idea of this. That's what we wanted to do. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel for more. Take care, guys, and have yourselves a great day.